Hello, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a drawstring tote bag. So let's look at the bag. Okay, the bottom part of the bag is made out of denim fabric. The upper portion of the bag is just some yellow print fabric with different color circles all over it. The lining is also yellow with little pink squares all over it. And the drawstring is also made out of denim, and I've put some of the yellow fabric at the ends of the drawstring just to add a little more color to it. Now the machine applique flower design is an option. It's not something you have to put on. What this was these were flowers that were already pre-printed on fabric that I cut out and used machine applique technique to put them on. So here is the fabric that I used. So if you want to put flowers on the end of the bag, there are a lot of different flower fabrics available out there, or you can create your own design. If you've never done machine applique, watch my video Machine Applique Lesson 1. Another choice is to maybe put one flower and maybe put someone's name on it. Like this would make a really cute bag for a little girl. Okay, you could put her name on it, Sarah or Maria, okay? All right, there you go. Let's go over the instructions. If you have a cell phone, put the video on pause and use your cell phone camera to take a snapshot of the cutting instructions so you know what to buy when you go to the fabric store. The bottom of the bag is made out of denim. You'll need 2 pieces, 10 inches by 14. The top piece is made out of a cotton print, 2 pieces, 6 inches by 14. And the lining is also cotton, 2 of them, 15 inches by 14 inches. The drawstring is made out of denim, 2 1.5 inch wide by 28 inch long strips. And then at the ends of the drawstring, I have 4 1.5 wide, 5.5 inch long pieces. And then you will also need fusible interfacing to be used on the lining. Okay, so get your lining pieces, your 2 pieces of cotton fabric, and your fusible webbing. To put the fusible webbing on, follow the instructions on your fusible webbing package. It's a very easy process. So you're going to want to put the fusible webbing on the back side. This is my front of my fabric. It's just a solid pink, and I've put the interfacing on the back side. Okay, then bring your 2 pieces of lining together. You're going to pin them together, okay? And you're going to start in this corner up here and do a 1/2 inch from this raw edge, stitching all the way down to the bottom corner. When you get down here to where you're a 1/2 inch from this raw edge, needle down, press your foot up, and turn and begin to go across. Now, somewhere along the bottom, preferably in the middle, you're going to need to leave an opening that you do not stitch over, and make the opening wide enough to where your hand can go through. So put a pin on each side of your hand so you know where to stop, and do a few stitches back and forth. Then pick up and start here, do a few stitches back and forth, and continue on down to the next corner. Needle down, press your foot up, and stitch up that last side. Now do not stitch across the top. Now you're going to cut the excess fabric off the corner here. So you're going to cut across this way at a 45-degree angle, then across this way, and then this way. And when you're done, it should look something like this. You're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch of fabric between the corner and the raw edge here. Okay? All right, then reach inside and turn the lining portion of the bag right side out. Okay, now take your denim fabrics and the cotton fabric for the outside of the bag and bring the 2 pieces together. Now you're bringing them together on the side that's 14 inches wide. So pin and stitch a 1/2 inch seam all the way across. Then on the back, press the seam open. all the way across. Then go back to the front and you're going to do some top stitching. And on each side of the seam here, you're going to go out and stitch an 1/8 of an inch row of stitching all the way across. Then go to the other side of the seam, 1/8 of an inch, and stitch all the way across. This helps to secure this portion of the bag. So you're going to do that on both the front and back pieces. Then take both pieces and bring right sides together. Okay, so here's the right side, the pretty side. Here's the back side of the fabric. Now on each side of this cotton portion, the cotton print, you're going to need to put some markings along the side that indicate where the casing for the drawstring is going to go through. So from the upper edge here, come down 2 inches and put a mark. Then go over 1 more inch and put a mark. And do this on the other side of the cotton pieces, okay? So you know where to start and stop. So then go ahead and pin it on 3 sides, but don't pin the upper part closed, okay? You want to leave that opening closed. Then from this raw edge, come in 1/2 an inch and stitch down to that first mark. Go back and forth a few times, then pick up, start over here, begin stitching again, go back and forth a couple of times, and stitch all the way down along this side. And when you get to the first corner, leave your needle down, press your foot up, and turn and go along the bottom. And continue stitching across. Do the same thing at this corner, and then stitch up your last side. Then turn the bag right side out. Okay, you're going to reach inside, grab the bottom of the bag, and pull it right side out. So here's a sample of a hole here, and now we need to reinforce around that hole on each side of the upper portion of the bag. So stitch real close to the edge here and stitch around that hole, reinforcing it, okay? Do it on both holes. All right, now you're going to take your lining and the outside of the bag, and you're going to put the outside of the bag inside of there, and you're going to bring right sides together. Okay, here's the inside of the right side of the lining, and here's the right side of the outside of the bag, and bring them together. And you're going to pin the upper part of the bag together. Now match your seams of both pieces. Okay, here's my seam on this side and then this side. So match them up on each side. Then from 1/2 an inch from this upper raw edge, come in and stitch 1/2 inch seam all the way around the entire upper portion of the bag. Now you're going to pull the bag right side out. So bear with me as I do this. You're going to reach in, grab your denim, and begin pulling it through, okay? As you're pulling it through, you're going to try and smooth out all of your seams and your corners, poke your corners out, get everything lined up to do the final top stitching. Okay, now, first place you want to go to is the lower portion of the lining. Okay, so smooth out the bottom edge. Okay, then bring the opening, you're going to pin it closed. So fold it in 1/2 an inch, okay? And you're going to do a much better job than what I'm doing right now. And go ahead and put some pins to hold it closed all the way across that opening. Then you're going to stitch really close to the edge. Stitch right along this edge to close up that hole at the bottom there. Okay, no one's going to see it, so it doesn't matter how pretty it is down there at the bottom. It's on the inside of the bag. Okay, then on the upper portion of the bag, you're going to smooth out those edges on the upper portion. Here's the inside of the bag. Here's the outside of the bag. And put some pins all along the upper edge flattening it all out nice and smooth. Then you're going to stitch along here 1/8 of an inch from the raw edge. Stitch all the way around the upper portion of the bag. After you've done that, you're now going to stitch on each side of the hole. There's my hole right here. And it's about 1.5 inches from the top down. So yours might be a little different than mine depending on how you measured. But measure whatever this distance is from the top of the hole to the top of the bag. And that's how far you want to stitch all the way around. We're creating the casing for the drawstring. So let me show you a real easy way of doing this. Okay, so on your sewing machine, you probably have a storage compartment. Remove your storage compartment so that you have this free arm here. Then bring your bag over the top and underneath the free arm so that it makes it real easy to turn your fabric as you go around. Now, line it up at the top of that hole and then line up to whatever line this comes to. For me, it's this line right here. Excuse me, right here. Okay? So as you're watching your stitching, you're watching the line or this keeping the edge of the fabric up against that line. Now, don't watch the needle, just keep watching the side where the fabric, whatever line that fabric is coming up against. Okay? Now you're going to go to the other side of the hole. So move it over, line it up, and then put a piece of tape here, because most machines don't have lines that go all the way across. I wish they did, but they don't. And put that tape there. Now you're going to keep it lined up with that, and as you're stitching, you're watching where the tape is, the fabric against the tape, and keep going all the way around. Okay? Now you just created the casing for your drawstring. Now take your drawstring fabric. Now, if you don't want to put this yellow at the ends of the drawstring, add another 10 inches to your denim fabric. Okay? Alright, so this is how you put the yellow on the ends. Go ahead and pin and stitch 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Alright? Then open it up and press your seam so it goes towards the yellow fabric. Do this at both ends of the drawstring. Then on the yellow fabric, fold the ends over about 1/2 inch, press it with your iron. Then bring the two raw edges together where they meet in the center and press it all the way down the full length of the strip. Then take these two sides and fold them together. And again, press all the way along the strip, all the way down to the other end. Then when you're done with that, you're going to start right here on this corner and stitch across, then down the side, all the way to the other end. And again at the other end, stitch across there. Now your drawstring is done. Now I'm going to show you how to put the drawstring in the bag. Put a safety pin at the end of your drawstring. Yes. And then take your bag and insert the safety pin in the hole. Okay? And push it in. And as you're pushing it in, you're going to tug on the casing a little bit. Keep pushing it across, tugging on the casing. Okay? Now, as you come across, you're going to keep pushing it till you get to the other side. And when you get to the other side, you're going to come out and pull on the drawstring. Now, you want to leave a little bit of the denim out on the side that you started on. Don't pull it all the way through. You want to leave some of it sticking out. Then flip it over to the other side, and now you're going to go in the other side. Stick it in the hole, push it through. Go all the way across. Bring the two ends together and line them up. Then you're going to want to stitch across here to secure it. And then tie a knot in it. Okay? Now you're going to do the other side. So go to the opposite side where you just finished. Go in. Go all the way across. Flip it over. Go through the other side. And when you get it together, bring the two ends together, stitch them together, and tie a knot. Okay? And then you are done. All you need to do is just tug on the drawstring, and you have a really cute tote bag. Okay? Well, I hope that this was helpful to you. Now my next video is going to be how to do paper piecing. So I'll do a little introduction to that. It's a really easy process, and it's a great project for beginners, especially who are a little frustrated with sewing. Okay, now to keep informed on all my future videos, click on one of my subscribe buttons. There's one down there in the lower right hand corner. It's red. It's there throughout most of the video. And then up in the upper left hand corner towards the end of the video, you'll see my picture. That's also a subscribe button. Click on either one of those. YouTube will prompt you for your email address. Enter that information, and the next time I have a new video, YouTube sends you an email with a big button in the center. Well, I'm Cheryl, and I'm really glad you came to my sewing room. See you next time, and happy sewing.